What's up, guys? So basically today I just wanted to kind of show you a little tip that works pretty good for me when putting on these M4 Brembo calipers using the Kraus radial mount, like this guy right here. So basically, you know, you have to find your correct spacing, and so Kraus offers these 2.5 millimeter spacers, which are cool. But I found that pretty much no matter what, you know, if you got a custom application or you know, like for instance this bike right here. So you know, this is a 2011 Dyna Street Bob, but it's got 2005 Dyna 13-spoke mags on it. So it's got the wheel conversion with the different spacers and everything. It just kind of, no matter what, you find yourself having to custom fit these things to get them center and get them true and get them right. So a really good tip that I do is I'll mount loose, kind of mock it up on the bike, and basically once I kind of get it sitting to where it's center up top and down here on the bottom, I'll take my caliper and I'll take the measurement between here and the mount, and basically whatever that number is, you can go back to your washers right here and measure out your stack. Now you might have to shave a little bit of washer down, or maybe find a little bit of a thinner one, whatever it's going to get you to your number to be true and center. Another thing to think about is your height this way. So basically, you know, you don't want that rotor to protrude past the brake pads, and you don't want it to be under the brake pad to where you have an excess amount of protruding brake pad above the rotor. So that's another thing to really keep in account for sure. Cool. So basically I got my caliper all mounted up there and mocked up, and so my first measurement right here on my top came out to a 28. So basically I'm going to take, we'll start with 3 washers, right? We're going to go ahead and measure those out. All right, so my stack needs to be a 28 right now. 3 washers as they sit are 0.29. So if I take one away, I'm going to be too thin. So basically what I'll do is I'll just shave down one of these washers a little bit, slowly and periodically measuring it, so that way we don't take too much. Or you can always go to the option of a thinner washer, whatever you got available and makes the most sense. Go ahead and put it under torque, but we will be taking it back off to chase the threads, clean up the threads, apply Loctite, and then hit them to your factory torque spec. So you know, basically once you get those stacks figured out, you want the wheel to spin freely. You don't want any kind of binding or metallic clunking or clinking or anything like that. So you know, that's a super crucial important part. Let me give you guys a shot here. So basically you want that caliper to be center of that rotor. So you don't want it to do any kind of binding or too far to the right, too far to the left, or anything like that. You want that thing to be pretty center and on money. It's pretty important, not only, you know, for fucking safety, but you know, you'll get good even wear on the pads and you know, get the most out of your braking system. So basically from here, now that we're all centered up and it looks good, we'll go ahead and take it off. We'll chase and clean the threads, we'll bust out the manual for this year and model of bike. We'll look up the torque specs for the brake caliper and get it all laced up. And the cool thing about this is this bike is going to be running a dual disc front. Now our guesswork's already done, and now the other side just copy and repeat. Easy peasy. Code. Another thing too, when you're doing the final torque on these, it's important that you want to squinch it evenly. So, you know, a good rule of thumb is do quarter turns and jump between the two and walk that thing down evenly. You want a nice, good, even squinch on that mount. Same thing here on these guys. You just want to walk them down, so quarter turns, jump in between the two. You know, get a nice even fucking squinch down on that clamp, so you're not looking, it's all flush and sitting square. All right, cool. So that's pretty much it, man. You know, like I said, take your time on finding the right stack for your application. It's super important, you know, because you're, you know, being fucking lazy. You know, don't let that come to an account that if something fails on this thing where you're going down the highway doing fucking 90 or 100 miles an hour, you know what I'm saying? So take your time, make sure that shit's right. You know, Loctite it, put shit to torque spec, you know, clean your threads, do it right, man. I mean, we put a lot of money into these things, dude, and you know, what's the fucking point if we half-ass it? So anyhow, if you guys like this one, let me know, and I'll drop a couple more with some other things that I've myself have looked for help in or try to figure out, and there wasn't really anything available. So all right, dude, later.